our journey, and you know that answer should be given first on the chat window, then I will explain it to you guys. So let us start our day with the today's class. So let's read the question and answer it. Let me guide you how to read it also. Wait my pen. Okay. To improve its culture for workers, and organization leadership wants to provide childcare services, other personal services such as something for the next calendar year. Okay. As I said, something. This is okay. You don't need to stress yourself here. These are just services. So do not waste your time in reading unnecessary information. The project team needs to decide how to implement the new services. Leadership wants these services in place as soon as possible. This is the hint of the question. And I explain you that the last part of the question should be read carefully. The team holds a brainstorming session. Which two questions should the team explore to begin implementation of the services? You have to select two answers. So, is this the part of the company's growth strategy? How will the company determine who is eligible for the services? How many team members and which skills will be required to implement the services? Will the services be contracted out or maintained by company employees? What are the benefits of these services? So, who is doing the discussion? Team is doing the discussion. Team has anything to do with the company's growth strategy? Is this the team task to think about the growth strategy of the organization?
No.
So it's removed. And the question is about the team. How will the company determine? So this answer is again legible or illegible?
Eligible.
Right? It's not legible. Uh, do you need to understand what are the benefits of these services? Is it your problem? As a team,
No.
this is not our problem, right? This is organization problem. There is strategy. So we eliminated three answers, and how many answers they needed? Two.
Two.
So the remaining answers should be the correct answers. Let's read them what they are. How many team members and which skills will be required to implement the service? That's what we call it, self-organizing team, right? And then will the services be contracted or maintained by the company employees? And this is called what we did in the procurement, make or buy analysis. So yes, in that context, C and D are the correct answers. So this one I gave you as a correct answer. For the next one, I hope your brain has started working. So you guys try to find out and answer on the chat window, please. Let's go read the question. A project goal is something. Okay. The team sent initial survey to assess their satisfaction with the current and analyzing the data. And these are the four responses. Current process works fine. Current process needs fixing. We need better training. We do not need any more training. Which two activities should the project team perform first? Based upon these responses, which two activities should the project team? This you must know that who they are asking, team manager or whoever. Which two activities the team will perform first? They need two answers, guys. So please select two answers. Right now, both answers are incorrect. One answer is okay, Nikhil. Norman, one answer is okay. Project team perform first. Job satisfaction survey, is it the task for the team or the project manager?
A project manager.
Right? It has nothing to do with the team. This answer is gone. And is it a logical answer that you will recommend this survey to someone? It has nothing to do with the question, right? Likelihood to recommend survey. Getting the fancy word does not mean that you feel confused about it. You need to think that it has any relation with the question or not. So likelihood to recommend survey is gone also from it. Now remaining are 3 answers and you have to choose 2. Which 2 answers you will select as a team? As a team.
C and D.
Try to answer on the chat, please. And then we will see who's correct, who's not. And similarly, yes, all of you are correct now. Lesson learned has nothing to do with the question. So remaining answers are C and D. Risk analysis and Moscow will be used to check this first, right? Must have, should have, could have, won't have. So they can prioritize the thing accordingly. So yes, in that context, C and D are the correct answers. Great. So especially the new students who were from the last batch, you guys have seen the link that they do not ask any technical thing from the definition perspective, from the terminologies perspective. But what you must remember is the role definition. That what is the role of the team? Does it relate to team? Does it relate to project manager or sponsor or product owner? Then you can easily answer the questions. So don't worry about it. A project manager has drafted a PMP. While working, PM observes that key stakeholder priorities are different from others. No need to waste time in reading the full question. Key stakeholders are saying site upgrades and user improvements in a 9-month project schedule, while other stakeholders are saying user improvements in a 3-month schedule. Stakeholder A openly stated that the broader scope and longer schedule are necessary for project success. What you will do as a project manager, first, to get the project management plan approved, ask the key stakeholder to present data to support the business case, negotiate with all until they agree to common scope and a schedule baseline. Point number B, whose task is this? Who can tell me whose task is this?
Sponsor.
Exactly. This is the task of a sponsor. And the question is about project manager. So it's gone. Facilitate a meeting with all stakeholders to agree. To get the agreement on the scope is sponsors. So it means it cannot be the answer. And what I told you, normally direct action will never be the correct answer, right? You cannot do this because it's not your project. You have to take permissions, you have to take authority. So you cannot take direct actions. So this is gone. Remaining answer is A. Whatever you are saying, provide the reasons, because business case contains what? Business case contains the reason why we need to do this. So asking the key stakeholder, if I remove the word here, then it will be incorrect answer. Because we will not go to everyone, right? This is the task of a sponsor. So asking the key stakeholder to present the data with the help of business case. So yeah, we can get it agreed by the sponsor and then we can move on. So yes, in that case, A was the correct answer. Again, I tried to give the answer by myself and this time you have to try. An agile team has identified several risks during their last retrospect. including the chance of hiring a contractor to double the speed of a critical investigation during the next iteration. How should the team classify this risk? On the chat window, please. You can double the speed. What do you think? Include the chance. It's giving you the hint by itself. Question always give you the hint. Answer is always in the question, right? Exactly, Hafiz and Jordan. You already have the probabilities. And when it is the risk, it cannot be the issue. So B is out of the league. And chance is a positive thing. So it cannot be the threat. And emergent risk and opportunity. So when you see the chance, so it means it's a positive thing. So it goes to the opportunity. So yes, D is actually the correct answer. Great, well done, guys. Let's go next. Our production streamlining is halfway complete. Team is working well. Company is having significant personal issues and has lost many of the senior technicians to startup that were offering great salaries. Problem is salary. To make matter worse, VP requests to use the team most senior technical resource for a major new project kicking off next week. You did not have resources. Whatever you have it was transferred to another resource. What should the team, what should you do as a team lead, as a project manager? And always remember the trick. Direct action will never be the correct answer. Noman, yes, good. And I explain you some words would be on the lowest priority to be the correct answers. And one option is here with that technique also. Why you guys are taking so much time? Direct action will never be the correct answer. You guys are not listening, right? Whatever I am saying, you guys are not absorbing it. I'm giving you the direct hints to make your life easy, but you don't want to take it. Every time you are repeating the same thing. And I told you, if you see this word, it should be the lowest probability to be a correct answer. So when C and D are gone and A and B are available, so the better answer is B. Make the case for keeping the resource to ensure project outcomes are realized. If you guys are stuck in a situation you cannot decide, so these are the tricks which will help you to find a correct answer for you guys. If you will keep trying to read and read and read, the only thing which will happen is you will lost the concentration and you will forget what the question is asking, and you will keep reading it and keep reading it and keep destroying the time for yourself. So don't kill yourself. Do the things smartly. Learn from my experiences and learn from my knowledge also, what I have been sharing all the time. And also from the lesson that yesterday Ms. Noora passed that And she called me today also that Imran, I just passed it, and truly I just studied only 1 week. And she said the same thing. I think I will record her lesson and maybe tomorrow if she gets time. She said, Imran, you always keep repeating the same sentence that trust on me, and you don't need to read any slides, you don't need to read any books. Just perform the daily questions and perform the final test, go sit an exam, you will be passed. And she said, after passing the exam, every student, not only Miss Noora, every student said, Imran, yes, we should have trusted you. Naman is sitting here, he came from a reference of Fahad, I guess. Yes. So Fahad also said the same thing after passing that, said, no need to do anything. With the things you have told us, that's more than enough to remember. The questions you have given us, they are more than enough to pass the exam. So please use my instructions, trust on me. I will record our session tomorrow if it is possible, and I will share the knowledge with you guys that how she solved the questions. So please try to do the work smartly. Don't try to work harder. Great. Next, let's go. At a party, people are having friendly, open conversation. Which team is fastest? Which happens normally. One person laughs and says the team A has a velocity of 20, B has a velocity of 40. So team B members will be receiving bonuses. How will you respond as a leader of team A? As a leader of team A, not as a leader of the whole project. Correct, Hafiz. Correct, Naman. Yes, Jordan. No, Mr. Dila. Company culture has nothing to do with the speed of the person. These words will never be the correct answers. You can just disregard them directly. And when I was explaining you Agile, I told you that every team can have a different complexity in terms of story points and different velocity in terms of their resource available. So you cannot compare the team performances. Also, you cannot compare individual performances that person one of team A has performed less, person two of team A has performed more or better. No, it is not like this. Velocity is measured based upon the team, not on the personal preferences, on the personal measurements. Although, yeah, it is being noted down that if the person is not responding as they should, so that's why you guys have self-organizing team which balance the performances, and at the same time, team works on these people who are not coming along with them to make it better. And if they tried everything, nothing is happening, then they will ask project manager to replace the resource that we tried every possible thing. This guy is not improving. Instead, he or she is creating the backlog for us. So in that case, after trying everything, the resource can be replaced. So we do not measure the velocity of a team or a resource. Instead, it's a team-based velocity, and every team could have a different type of complexity. So we cannot compare it. So yes, D was the correct answer. Great. As enterprise has partnered with the company, to deliver a certain number of SIM cards each month. Results reviewed each month. Z has been clear about their preferences and tolerances and service level agreements. Which is the best tool to monitor the delivery of products? Cause and effect diagram, affinity diagram, control chart diagram, or scatter plot diagram. And here, if you remember the keywords, what we discussed. Among these four, which is used to monitor the delivery of product? Anyone remember the keyword for a scatter diagram? What was the keyword? Yes, Jordan and Abed, your answer is correct. But I'm just asking, what is the scatter plot diagram? What was it? What was the keyword for that? Anyone remembers? To find correlation between two variables. So here there is nothing like this correlation, so it cannot be the answer. Cause and effect diagram is used to find problem. So question does not say anything related to the problem that you are over budget or something. So this answer is gone. Affinity diagram, the keyword, which I have been giving you the keywords also. Anyone? Grouping or classifying the requirement. So it has all these options has nothing to do. The only available option is control chart diagram, which shows the up because it's give you the hint, right? About their tolerances, which means upper limit and lower limit in the process, that how much they can deliver it. So yes, B is actually the correct answer. Great. Let's go next. An agile team is nearing the end of the project and has been able to complete all stories and deliver values to the client. The coach has noticed, coach means the team lead has noticed that the coding standards are not up to the par. What should the team do? Update the definition of done, notify the customer, add the work to the backlog, update the code during the sprint dedicated to ensuring quality. Whose task is this? If you know the role, you can answer it.
This team,
Who can update the definition of done? Definition of done is used in Agile, right? Who have this authority? Yes,
product
Hafiz.
owner,
Product owner. Who can deal directly to the customer?
this is same product owner.
Product owner. Backlog is the property of who?
Project management.
No, product owner. Product owner brings the
Product
requirement,
owner.
right? Product
Yeah,
owner
yeah.
is responsible to bring the requirements in the form of user stories and put them in the backlog and prioritize the backlog. Product owner. So these three things can never be done by the team because what they are asking team, while A, B, C are the task of product owner. Okay, correct answer is D. What we call this a sprint, if you guys remember, where we do the additional quality check. What do you do these things before that goes to the customer hand? There were two
Quality
iterations.
assurance.
Which one?
Quality assurance.
Yeah, what we call it? There is a name for this type of. No. Yeah, Habib. Retrospect for the lesson learned.
Release. Iteration. Okay.
There were two iterations, iteration 0 and iteration H. Iteration 0 is used for the setup, while iteration H is used for additional quality control to make sure that if before it goes to the customer hand, we can fix it. And this thing is called as inspection principle of Agile. Right? We have three principles of Agile: transparency, inspection, and adaptability. So this is one of the principles. So update the code during the sprint dedicated to ensuring quality. This thing is called as iteration H. Great. Let's go next. Look, that's what I always say, guys. To learn and to appear in exam, the best thing is perform the questions in the style which I do in front of you, that what is this task, what is this task related to. This is the best way to find your gaps. You will keep reading the slides for the whole year. Maybe you will learn something, but ultimately you will give up because you will never have 1 year to study. So, okay, slow and steady is good, but try to keep a timeline of 2 to 3 weeks maximum. That's it, more than enough. And it's enough to pass the exam also. Don't try to exaggerate it.
Answer, this is the better. If we can perform question, it is better for us because
You know, Miss,
everything
I just explained you about Miss
100%
Noora. Miss Noora said, Imran, if someone can do the simulator in 1 week, they can sit an exam and pass it. If they have done the daily questions, just perform the 5 exams which are at the end. That's it. It's your choice. You finish in 3 days, you finish in 3 weeks. You choose. No need to open again. It's not a good practice. You should open the slides and read it at least, if not the book. But the best way to find your gap is solving the questions. There's no other way. If you think that, okay, first week I will read their slides and next week I will solve the questions, all of you are working professionals. It will rarely happen that you will have that much time. Maybe you have this time, this week you are free. It's not guaranteed that you will be free next week also. So whatever you have it, use it smartly and wisely. The more you will make it complex, the more you will be perplexed. Okay, organization merged. PMO creates a team with the required expertise. They decide to prioritize an evaluation of company process. Then figure out what needs to be done to create an interim organization that meets the leadership needs. Which two techniques should the project team use? Wait, I think this is the wrong answer because these are the copy paste from the previous slide. So they cannot be the correct answer. Wait. Yeah, this one. Which two techniques should the project team use? Prioritizations. What needs to be done? What two techniques you will use? This is the answer. Hafez, yes. Mustafa, no. One is correct. Mustafa, not the second one. Brad, fine with the second one also because we need to select two answers. No, miss. Both are incorrect. Sorry. Mustafa, yes. Jordan, first one is wrong. Noman, both are wrong. Mustafa, first one is correct. Second one is wrong. Your previous answer was correct, Mustafa. Uh, which works good for the organization and prioritizers. So decision tree is to find the EMV, right? Question has nothing to do with EMV. This answer is gone. Qualitative analysis is for the prioritization of the risk. So when there is nothing called risk in the question, so it cannot be the answer. And brainstorming sessions are done to find out what needs to be done. So remaining are three answers. And three are very close enough. Two organizations are merged. You want to prioritize the evaluation of processes. Then figure out what needs to be done. What needs to be done is referring to gap analysis. To meet the leadership need is what? Value stream mapping. That the actions which will give you the most value. Brainstorming session is not required to perform because when the team is there, so you will not perform brainstorming sessions. You will take the actions. So in that context, A and C are the correct answer. So they will create a value stream map and then they will conduct a gap analysis to find out which actions are done. Brainstorming is good for idea generations. So here they are not saying that you need to generate ideas. If they are not here that you need to generate ideas, so in that case, yes, A and C are the correct answers. Very good. Perfect. Let's go next. Now I will not highlight anything because I have given you enough push, right? So you guys now should answer, read by yourself and answer by yourself to check. And here you can use the trick which I have keep giving you. If you remember that trick, you can easily reach to the correct answer. Exactly. Hafiz, Zubair, and Jordan. Yeah, they are the very correct answer. But I want to see from others also. Those who are still confused and those who are not listening what I kept trying to say, this can never be the correct answer. You guys keep forgetting this technique. Please make a note if you cannot remember it. Keep it with you. When you are spending the time here to learn something, so please learn something. Don't disregard it all the time. They will never be the correct answer. So they are out of the league. Now C and D are quite close. And the best answer is that anything which has to go through, it should go through the process of formal change request process. Look, they did not even ask you the name of the process because PMI is not interested to go in the names of the processes anymore. That much it was previously before 2020. It has to go through with the perform integrated change control process. If you guys want to make it more better, can you guys write me on the chat window what are the steps required to have the change? Whenever a change request is submitted to you as a project manager, what will be the steps involved? Type it on the chat window. Step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4. Let's see how many of you remember the thing. One question you can learn so many things if you are focusing well. Still waiting on the chat for your answers. What was the process of change? Before this, what is the step, Mama? A bad, yes, very good. And what are the steps after that, Ubed? There are so many people, and I still got only 2 answers. One is incomplete and one is complete. What you will do, Hafiz, after that, after the last point? Explain that also. So ultimately, I have to do it, right? Change request will be filed, project manager will receive it, and then project manager will document it into change log, which will have the column accept, reject, or deferred. And if it is deferred, we'll put the date. Then the impact analysis will be done by the project manager. After impact analysis, with the recommendations going to the process called as integrated change control, where change control board is sitting to decide whether to approve the change, reject the change, or defer the change. If it is deferred, it will go back and restart. If it is rejected or accepted, in all the cases, project manager has to communicate the status of the change to the stakeholders. If it is approved, then update the required document and give the new document to the execution team. If not, then file it in the project file. And if it is deferred, also file it and then put a date of the deferred when it has to be resubmitted, so it can be resubmitted the same thing, and then same process will be followed. So that is the process of implementing the change. So yes, in that context, C is the correct answer. So you guys forgot the process of change request also. Great. A client is making a lot of a small minor change requests indicating they are urgent and critical. What actions you will take as a project manager? Well, yes, good. Naman, yes, good. You guys are not reading the last part of it, Jordan, Adila, and Mustafa. The option you have selected, is it a proper option, appropriate option? They are asking project manager, right? Iteration backlog is the property of
Product owner.
iteration backlog is the property of team. Product backlog is the property of product owner. And any work needs to be added or any change needs to be added, it will always go to the product backlog, not iteration backlog. Because in iteration backlog, we decompose user stories into tasks. So D has nothing to do with the post. Any changes which will be done, it will be done only in the product backlog. That's what we call it, refined backlog, prune backlog, or updated product backlog. And it can only be done, who can touch product backlog? Product owner. Iteration backlog are the tasks which needs to be done. So it has nothing to do with the question. And as I told you that you cannot do this, it's not allowed. And these type of words will never be the correct answer. So the meaning is, whenever the change is being made, you have to log every change request. Whether it's small, big, it doesn't matter. Control the changes with the change control procedure. So yes, A is the correct answer. Those who have answered A. Do not get confused with the wordings. Read it carefully. But an agile team is in dire need of additional resources, so the department decided to add another team. A few team members are possible candidates, so management decided on using a performance test to decide which team to add for 10 iterations. Who should be responsible for hiring the new team? Department decide and management decide. When management is deciding which team to add for 10 iterations, when management is deciding to add the team, so answer itself gives you, question itself gives you the answer by itself. Do not think what is not available. Don't try to use if and else. They are, as I told you, last part of the question contains the main part. If you will forget it, if you will not read it carefully, your answer will always be no. So focus on the last part. So in that context, yes, C is the correct answer. Hiring and firing. If you remember the word I use, hiring and firing are the management tasks. This word does not fit with the project manager. Project managers does not hire or fire. What they do, they, which word we use it? They acquire the resources from functional manager or PM. Project manager does not hire or fire the resource. Instead, they acquire the resource from project manager or functional manager. I think let's keep it as the last question for today. An agile team has been asked to update the project artifacts because new team members are joining soon. Which should be updated? New team members are joining, so which two artifacts should be updated? Half is yes. So bad. One is correct. What about the new one? Means what about the another answer? Because you need to select two answers. Okay, let's try to eliminate the answers if you are confused. Did we study anything like this? Is there anything exists like this? Milestone slip chart. There is nothing called as milestone slip chart in our life, right? This answer is gone. Who updates the vision statement or who have the control on vision statement? And question is about this. Who can update or create the vision statement or update it? Ray?
Sponsor, sir.
Sponsor or product owner, right? These two have the probabilities of updating it. So two answers are gone. New team members are joining. New team members have something to do with roadmap. When the new team member will join, you will update the whole roadmap of the project.
Oh,
Roadmap will be decided by team or by the product owner? Or by both?
Product owner, sir.
Normally the product owner in collaboration with the team. So it means team cannot itself do it. It has to be approved by the product owner. So this option is gone. Burn up chart and information radiators are the two options which the team can actually update it. Every time you're stuck, you always need to think that who create this, whose responsibility is this. If you manage to do so, and if you're learning from these sessions, your answer can never be wrong. So you can learn like this. So in that context, I hope you learned something new again today. That will be enough for you to remember for the next week. So I'll see you guys next Saturday.